stick to any structure or any form. We're just gonna let the laughs fly and let the information fly, and you can catch on from there. Also, this is probably just a test.
Let's do it. Now, this will be the part where we had a cool intro song, but we're not there yet, so just bear with us.
Like, the whole point of going to UK and making football games is to attract more fans and to make it more of an international sport. How can any fucking average UK citizen afford that kind of ticket prices? What was the ticket price?
$633 is the cheapest tickets to get into the Packers and Giants game this weekend. And normally we would say that it's, way too much, but you got to think. And I mean, look at it last week when the Vikings and the Saints were just out there. Same stadium. They sold out. I don't know if their ticket prices were the same, but they sold out.
I assume they were close to the same ballpark.
So you can say, yeah, the average fan won't be able to afford it, but trust me, corporations will buy all them seats up, and somebody will be there. So
that's fair, because there's a lot of big business that's gonna okay, we want to get people to the games and we want to do something nice for our employees. Here, take some not season tickets, but some tickets to the expensive ass game.
And believe it or not, which is kind of surprising, this is the Packers' first game in London.
Really?
And you would think a large market, well, I don't know, large market, but a large
market.
Well, Wisconsin, I don't know. But a team like the Packers, you would think they've already have been over there, So it's a game they should win. The Giants are 3-1 also. I mean, I don't think they've beaten anybody, including my Bears last week. They haven't really beaten anybody. But, the schedule is what the schedule is, and you can only beat who's in front of you.
I wonder how, you might not know this, but how does the system work for them deciding which teams go over? Is it just like the schedule where it's kind of random?
I remember reading somewhere after they announced that the Packers were going to go over there. It's only 3 or 4 teams that actually still haven't been.
Okay.
So I don't know how it works exactly, but I was listening to a podcast last week, and they were talking about the Vikings going over. And normally when you go over, you get to... He said something to the effect of you getting to choose your bye week. Like the Vikings had an option to pick, to take because we're playing the Vikings this week. They had an option to take a bye this week, but they neglected not to because they were coming back from overseas. But,
okay.
Which is kind of cool. I mean...
Give you some
the time, just to adjust, but...
Well, that covers the UK game for the coming week. Sorry, folks, we did just kind of dive into this. Welcome to the stream. Things are going to be a little different around here. We're going to try things. We're going to dive into sports and see where that carries us. Today we're talking about the NFL and kind of the state of things, what's going on this week. That wretched fucking game of Thursday night.
It's terrible.
Just, wow.
No introductions, though. We just jump right into it, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, I'll make an introduction later.
All right. I'm Kid.
Coughing to the mic.
And
this is Kid. This is Bizzle or Jay.
Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate all the support on Bizzle's channel as we continue to try to grow it. And this podcast is going to be, a little mix of everything. And hopefully you'll take something away from it. Let's get it.
And don't worry, rest assured, we are drinking and smoking in the background.
But you can't prove it. Just to touch on, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on last night's game. That was...
No, we can cover that.
And full disclosure, I did not watch the game. I watched the full game highlights, and if you did not watch the game, that is enough. Just turn on a couple minutes of it and be like, no, this isn't gonna work.
If you missed last night's game, you didn't miss much.
I mean, yeah, that is the best way to put it.
I had started watching the game last night. I made it through the first quarter. And I say it in that tone because it was much like watching a horrible movie that you want to give it a shot, but you make it through the first 15 minutes and you're like, fuck, this movie is not what I signed up for.
I don't have
And so what I did was I watched something else. And then I checked back in at half. It was 9-6, I think, at half.
Yeah.
And that just told me all I needed to know. I didn't want to watch a bunch of field goal kickers stretch their legs out.
It's hard to see Matt Ryan... Because Matt Ryan, the last 2 years, even though the Falcons haven't been good, he still put up good numbers. And so to come to the Colts, where I saw a stat the other day, they have the most expensive offensive line in the league. And, it makes sense. Quentin Nelson, monster, though. He's the all-pro, so, it makes sense. But to have that, and then Matt Ryan is constantly getting sacked. I mean, the fumbles aren't really on the line, but it's just...
It's still a product of not, protecting him.
Sure. He hasn't looked like what I was expecting to see with the Colts. And I mean, again, we're 5 games into the season. It's not doom and gloom. but Matt Ryan and the Colts have to play better. Their division is up for grabs. Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars for looking competent. I think hiring Doug Peterson and, going out and spending money this offseason was exactly what they needed to do. So shout out to them. But, that division is winnable. So if the Colts get it together, they'll be right there. As for the Broncos, I don't know what I'm looking at, basically, because the talent is there.
Preach.
The talent is there. Russell threw 2 bad interceptions yesterday, and I've been defending him a lot. It's a new system. The scheme is historically a little difficult to pick up. Even Rodgers struggled in the first year of this system, so you got to keep that in mind. But Russell Wilson's just not looking good right now. He's just not on the same page with his receivers, and again, he threw 2 bad picks, including the one where they were driving at the end of the game. As a Super Bowl champion, as a veteran, as a player of that stature, that you just can't.
He doesn't look like himself. He just doesn't.
But you just can't have that though.
No.
Especially, you're in the toughest division in football, and I think can we agree on that? The AFC West toughest division.
I mean,
Chiefs.
What are your
Raiders, Chargers, toughest division. Oh, yeah, y'all division's not AFC North.
I'll admit this as a Steelers fan. My Steelers bring the division down at this point.
Well,
we are a fucking potent defense with a fucking weak piss in the rain offense.
But again,
our offense is nothing to write home about. And the rest of our division, I'd
so okay, so we can say
to the rest of them.
So we can say the AFC West is tough. These are the games that are winnable though. Again, I think the Colts will be better than what they showed last night. But the Broncos moved the ball. They just couldn't finish drives.
Yeah, and that I feel like that's on Russell Wilson's shoulders.
A lot of it, yes. I mean, once you get in the red zone, you gotta finish drives. But at the end of the day, it's bigger than just Russ.
Let me circle back though to the Colts.
Okay.
Well, kinda. So it was weird for me the little bit of this game I did tune in for, watching Matt Ryan in a fucking Colts uniform. I'm sorry.
It's different.
It looked out of place. Like, what am I watching?
But he doesn't look like himself, so it's kind of like...
Question, as a GM, would you take Matt Ryan or Marcus Mariota?
Okay, well,
right now.
Marcus Mariota is making like $6 million this year, while Matt Ryan still has a bloated contract. But I believe in Matt Ryan finding his... adjusting back to the mean, or regressing back to the mean, I guess. As opposed to Marcus Mariota, who's, if we're going to talk about his, regressing to the mean, it's him getting hurt. Which, God forbid, I mean, I don't want to see that, but but you got to look at the situation there.
History of it, I mean, it's hard not to expect it.
After they went after Deshaun, though, that bridge was kind of burned with Matt, so, they couldn't really bring him back, and so, I get why, he ended up with the Colts. It's just,
Talk
weird
about
to see.
bridge being burned after going for Deshaun, man. Fucking... I know this has nothing to do about the week we're in football, and this is back in week 1, but Baker Mayfield, it cracked me up the gall he had to think he was going to go and beat the Browns.
I mean...
I know you have to say that as a professional athlete. You got to convince yourself of it and then try to convince the media. But come on, man. As
a Steelers fan, though, you should know this from Baker, though. Baker is... And again, nothing against him personally, but he's like the talk big game, and then go out there and have like a pedestrian stat line, and they lose by a field goal because he threw a bad pick or something.
4 for 12.
So I mean,
2 interceptions.
Well, let's just be honest about it though. When this deal is up this year with the Panthers, he's going to be a free agent. Baker is closer to a bridge quarterback than a future starter, or
he's next year's Mitchell Trubisky. With a little more of a ceiling, I'd give him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But as far as your, expected mediocre gameplay, your average game, he's going to give you about the same as Mitch.
Ultimately, you're limited. That's what it comes to. If you have a good defense, like the Browns had, and good skill position, like the Browns had, then you can, almost sneak into the playoffs.
You can carry him.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why the Browns are essentially set up. Didn't mean for this to venture into my division, but
here we are.
The Browns are set up for the future, but it's, even when Deshaun Watson comes back, and I'll admit I'm not a biggest fan of his. I respect his fucking play.
He's a great player.
He's got to come back into this new system, new team,
definitely
new environment.
Yeah.
new playing conditions as far as weather and your home field, different turf you're on. I'm sure to some degree.
I mean, they played in a dome with the Texans, so yeah, it's a big difference.
And then on top of that, the off the field shit that is going to resurface the moment he has Deshaun Watson's coming back. The fucking stories will start to roll again. That's just how the fucking media goes.
Ultimately, even if he plays good or bad, there's going to be questions in the post game about something relating to the case.
Like anything negative to say about him, I do not envy the pressure that will be on him coming back that week. Because no matter where the Browns are at in the season, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Like, hey, we paid all this money for you. You've sat and allegedly, to anybody's knowledge, done your best to stay in shape, whatever.
Right.
Show us.
And, I mean, he didn't play much in the preseason, but he didn't look good either. Mm-hmm. And, again, I like Deshaun. I like Deshaun coming out of Clemson. Full disclosure, I wanted Deshaun over Mitchell. Nobody was high on Patrick Mahomes.
At that
so
point
let's
in time,
be
I would have
honest.
definitely agreed on that.
Let's all be honest. And so I respect his talent. You can say whatever you want about the off field, and I won't turn this podcast into a soapbox. 2 years off is 2 years off, though. I mean, a year and a half, whatever, 2 years.
2 years off from any fucking profession. Never mind
to expect him to come back in and be, a top 5. Again, he was a top 5 quarterback 2 years ago.
No
to expect him to be able to do that right away, I don't know if that's realistic. But again, we just talked about the Browns being able to carry. That defense is good enough to keep them in games while he tries to figure out his
and
his
that
situation.
Was the smartest move behind that, 400 however many million is you paid for an excellent quarterback, but even if he
guaranteed.
But even if he doesn't show up on the field, your defense that you also paid a pretty penny for should carry him through to when he can get his shit together.
You still have a great running back core. I mean, Hunt,
it's
Chubb,
not even it's not even one running back. It's a core.
Johnson, I can't think of his first name right now, but they have a great team. The Browns have. I mean, I know it hurts you to say.
No, I'm not afraid to admit it.
Have
I know
a great
competition
team.
when I see
it's just
I love my
Deshaun
Steelers,
come
but
back?
we didn't build like they have.
But see, okay, if we're being fair, the Steelers have built a foundation, a culture over the last 20 plus years where every year they're competitive.
We built the culture and a defense, and then over the past 10 years, we've completely fucking forgot about the offense. I can get on a soapbox about that.
Yeah, but before you hop on there, let me just slide this in there.
Go ahead.
The one thing that you can't take away from the Steelers is they always can draft wide receivers.
Yes.
That is something they have down.
Even if they go batshit insane in a few years.
Hey, look.
Even if they lose their fucking minds and show their dicks in Dubai, we can still draft the talent.
I mean, it's half the battle, all right? We'll take it.
Quit knocking the mic. The mic's probably going to be like, what the
fuck? All the time where you got, like, Americans that go to different countries. Like, I seen one where he's, like, in the Ukraine or some... No, he's in Russia, I think. And he was just, like, talking crazy. And it's like, yeah, you can do that in America, bro. But, like, some of these countries don't play about that shit. Uh-huh. And it's just... There's a third world... Or a first world problem, when people complain about being censored or, anything along those lines. But
showing your dick in a hot tub, that's not a first world problem.
I mean...
And there's
that may be a cry for help,
seriously.
Okay?
Yeah, I honestly... I mean, I think the past fucking 2 years of his life, I'd say, is... I'm not a psychologist.
Mental health is real.
But I would venture to say, a professional would say, that's somewhat of a cry for help. I mean, that's one of the things the NFL could do better.
If they care.
Yeah, they don't care. But if they did care, and the Players Association, maybe that's something they should bring up.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do so much about protecting players from concussions and percussion protocols and doing all these helmets, what about the mental health for the people who have already had concussions? Because anybody who's put on a helmet, chances are they've had a fucking concussion.
At least one, yeah. And think about the ones that weren't diagnosed and that just kept playing in that game,
The doctors after Tua's, horrible incident, there were a lot of doctors that talked about the ones that you don't see any bump, or not any bump, but certain bumps to the head, and then it's undiagnosed. Hell, in my brief football career in high school, I know I had 5 concussions.
That explains a lot.
Right? All right. I know that I had those concussions, and I played essentially through 3 of them. I mean, 2 of them were during practice, so...
Yeah. So, it goes hand in hand, and until we can address this properly... Again, I'm not justifying anything that AB is doing. get help, bro. Like, you're a great player.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you can't maximize your talent because the off-field shit. And, you know.
That's another kind of tragedy in his story is you think if he had kept his shit together with the Steelers, right now he'd be fucking chasing Jerry Rice, fucking giving Larry Fitzgerald a run for his money as far as statistically, you know what I mean?
I remember telling you this when you guys were, getting to the playoffs and losing to the Steelers every year.
That brings up Bell, too.
Well,
if Bell had stuck with us. No, I mean, mind you, he's knocking motherfuckers out, so good for him.
30 for 30. Did you see that the other day?
Yeah, I watched a little quick highlight of him knocking, who did he fight?
It was on...
Adrian Peterson.
Yep,
there we go.
that's who it was.
Poor Adrian
that
Peterson
was tough to see.
And I think Adrian Peterson must have been on X, but we know who that
Without a
is.
doubt. Without a doubt. You're right. But I used to tell you all the time.
It goes to Le'Veon Bell. But on the field, where it really counts, Adrian Peterson.
All day. All day.
So random to bring this up, but it still shocks me to this day to come back from those 2 knee surgeries, tearing ACLs and MCLs, and then go play after, 8 months?
Rushed for two. I want to say in his first game, he rushed for 296. I know he rushed for 296 against us, the Bears.
I think that's the season that he came...
like real close to breaking the rushing record?
Yeah. The over 2,000 yards on 2 new knees.
He was one of the greatest backs of this generation. And I think that, because I don't think people really appreciated the rareness of being able to do that, to come back from a serious knee injury. Because, this was...
hell, if I had that surgery today, there's no guarantee I'd be able to go do my pissant job tomorrow or in 8 weeks.
Yeah, so...
To be able to run and hustle and take hits.
Cut, all that, yeah. So, yeah.
And a lot of that is to his credit, too, because... You got to relearn your body when you're rehabbing injuries like that. Sure. You got to learn what your body can do with this new...
And build that trust, too. Can I jump
believing
cut
that your
on
knee
this?
can do it.
Exactly. Damn, you were saying something, and I was going to pivot off of that.
I've got notes. I have notes.
Yeah,
we weren't talking about the Steelers, then we ventured off.
Oh, there we go. The 30 for 30 that's going to come in a couple years. The greatest offense to never win a Super Bowl is going to be the Steelers of the last, well, not recently, but yeah. A couple years back, yeah. But there's just so much talent. Again, we talk about this all the time, though. But you can't win games on paper. You have to have everybody out there, everybody healthy, and take care of business. And unfortunately,
that cost Bell. That the year he was injured, we were leading into that year. We were so fucking primed. The hype was behind us. The media were behind us, and all that shit. And then he got hurt, and even I knew. I was like, oh, there goes that season.
Man, hey, you know your limitations, but it's tough, man. Like you identify the receiver, and Brown was a later round. What was it, 5th round, 4th round, somewhere around there?
I want to say 5th round.
I think it was 5th, but you identify the talent, you get them all there, and, you lost to a good team in the playoffs when you lost to the Patriots, but at the end of the day, it's hard to know that you came up short, and then when you came up short, it all blew up, basically.
Preaching.
Well, yeah, you lived it. I just seen it from the outside looking in.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear it from somebody else. You know what I mean?
It helps me cope
It
better.
wasn't just me that saw that happen.
Right.
Since we're talking about Brown, let's transition into Brady. Woo!
They did play together, yeah.
And, Brady did a lot for Brown. I know he's got a lot of issues going on, but I know some part of him, let me put it that way, I hope some part of him at least feels guilty for the way he's done Brady. Because Brady gave him a job,
Well, he was trash-talking him last year, I want to say, after, it was, I remember hearing him say some shit about...
After he ran out the field and did his shit, he, came out and I think it was a podcast, something like this that we're doing.
Yeah. And
he said that, Brady didn't do shit for me, blah, blah, blah. I could have done it without him. And my thought was, no, you couldn't have.
Well, not at the point where you had dug yourself that hole. No, you couldn't have done it.
When he came back to the Bucs, before the, running off the field with his shirt off, no team was going to just give him a contract, especially not the money he was hoping and expecting and all that shit.
Right.
And, yes, if none of the off-field shit happens, he's worth every penny on the field.
Without it.
I cannot argue that. Not anymore.
And nobody would have a problem giving him that contract. But,
But all
once
the
you
shit
have
he
that
did,
off-field shit, it's tough, man. I mean, only the Raiders and maybe the Cowboys will take a chance on you, and then any team with Brady.
And for Brady to like, hey man, come stay at my house. I'll
Yeah.
get you a job with the team I'm playing with now.
Yeah.
And then you say, fuck that, I'm gonna piss on your face, motherfucker.
See, here's the only thing. Should Brown have tried to drag him after the fact? No. But let's not act like Brady did it out of the kindness of his heart.
No,
Brady
he wanted a
is
fucking
the
weapon.
ultimate competitor, and he knows
weapon.
the type of He knows the type of receiver he is.
Hey, maybe if I take him in my house, I get him a job. He'll fucking get his shit together, and I can just get me a Super Bowl. I can definitely see it from Brady's perspective. Like I would have fucking
like the ultimate clingy girlfriend, the I can change him type is
to a degree, yeah.
All right, he could. Shout out Tom Brady for not letting go. You know.
But he did let go once.
He was forced to let go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once he ran off the field with his shirt off, everybody was forced to let go.
That was kind of yeah.
It was only rapper now. I mean, it's like kind of getting a tattoo on your face. You can only be a rapper now.
I mean that or kill people.
Artist.
You know, whatever. One or the other.
Professional inmate.
Professional inmate. Do you get paid for that, or how does that work?
Ain't commissary from all your bitches.
You got it all figured out.
Everybody can figure out a come up. You just got to figure it out. That was a long-winded way to segue into Brady's getting divorced. And, it's not official. They've both retained divorce lawyers in recent days. As we're recording, it's Friday, and this news came out Wednesday. But I think it's safe to say the moment he decided to come out of retirement without telling his wife was the moment that marriage was over.
Yeesh.
And anything after that was just trying to, figure out assets. Just my 2 cents.
It's tough though. I mean, this is the game you love and you've been doing it, your whole life. And you're the greatest quarterback of all time in most people's eyes.
That's
so
hard to argue.
And to walk away, to just walk away when you're still able to do what you love, it's hard. So I understand it from both perspectives. Hopefully, Tom will continue to play, because it's good for the game, if nothing else. Maybe not for their marriage, but no. I don't have a say in that.
Hey, at this point, let's assume the marriage is done. They figure
Shout
out
to
assets.
the kids who get to enjoy 2 great Christmases every year
and 4 to 5 amazing houses to venture in and then probably inherit. You fuckers.
You're right. Hey. Being born into the right bloodline, goddammit. But so it's and hopefully we'll see how it affects his play.
My money is on he's gonna play another 5.
Well, is he gonna be trashed? Because he's distracted.
I honestly don't think so. Because
I don't either. I was just posing the question.
As long as his shoulder stays good.
They're playing the Falcons. We were talking about them earlier. So they have the Falcons this week at home. That they should be able to win that game. They
should be able
to. But their division though, they should be able to win that division. They already beat the toughest team in there, the Saints.
What would you say is the biggest cause of the Buccaneers' last loss?
Their last loss was to the Packers, right? I want to say, yeah, I'm pretty sure they lost to the Packers.
I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but I just felt like
you just put me on the spot. Yeah. No, they lost to the Chiefs. Well, you got outscored. It was 41-31, and Mahomes had a really good game. Now, before that, they lost to the Packers.
I'm glad you reminded me, though. Their offense, I feel like they don't know what they want to do. They get a little bit of run going, and then they try to abandon it for the pass, and then they get that little bit of pass going, and then they've forgotten about the run, and they have no run. At that point, their run game isn't established, and I feel like that's part of what led to that Chiefs loss. Mind you, you still had Mahomes to deal with, and he was having a good night that night.
But
for the most part.
And that was his so that game was the first game he got Evans back and what was it Godwin? Somebody else that came back that game. Because the 14-12 loss to the Packers, he didn't have any receivers, which is understandable.
Even from Brady.
Look, hey, if you're not protecting, you don't have weapons. It's hard to produce. In this
who
league.
are you gonna throw to?
And as a Bears fan, I'm experiencing that firsthand. So
that's a fact.
But no, can you stop hitting the mic?
I could, but I don't want to.
Like, all this is probably not even get recorded because you keep hitting the fucking mic. Like,
I think we're good.
All right, cool. So, point being, the Bucs are gonna win that division. All right, even with the problems of finding their offense, I think that they have enough leeway. They have enough leeway, and they don't play in a tough enough a division where it's like, we need to figure this out right now.
No, it's like I'm not saying that them trying to find their identity is going to cost them division or cost them a playoff spot. But I think that's their problem right now is they have to find their identity. You know, if they're going to run first, pass second, or pass first. And...
All right, let's play a little exercise. The Bucks' next 5 games. Ready?
Okay.
We got at home with the Falcons, on the road against the Steelers, on the road against the Panthers, at home against Baltimore, and at home against the Rams. Give me a record.
Win 3 and lose 2.
All right. That's where I'm at. I think they beat the
they're gonna win those first
three, yeah. And then Baltimore and the Rams.
Steelers.
Well, hey, let's be. But you know they're at Heinz.
Although,
Heinz Field.
That's 3 weeks. Give Pickett fucking 3 weeks to hey, let's see some shit from college, baby.
Oh, and we're gonna get there. So first off, shout out Kenny Pickett making his debut start against probably one of the toughest defenses in the league, and the Buffalo Bills. Now, I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but there's nothing wrong with going out there and having a rough game. And I think, unfortunately, that's what we're going to run into, but, we'll see.
As a Steelers fan, I'm all on board if he goes out, throws a couple picks, and just as long as he compensates and shows a good... he throws 2 interceptions the first half. I don't want him pulled from the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's on the bench.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
regardless of that, you know what I mean? I want this kid...
You got to let him make the mistakes.
Let him get it out of his system. Let him know, okay, I needed to throw that 2 seconds earlier, whatever.
Right.
Because, a quarterback like him, I feel like is going to learn from those interceptions. I overthrew him. That's why that was picked off. Next time I throw that ball, I'm going to fucking underthrow just a touch, but enough to get it to where I need to go. And I think that's why he doesn't need to be pulled. If he throws 2, even 3 picks in the first half, let him finish out that game. Watch him throw you maybe 2 touchdowns and then run in one and, tie the game up going overtime.
That's the thing I like about him, though, is he's going to go out there and make mistakes, but he's going to try to get that ball down the field. And you guys have a good enough receiving core that you need somebody that can maximize that talent. And as a Chicago Bears,
give these receivers the chance, and Trubisky is not going to give them a chance. He's
not
going to throw safe balls that he knows he can make, which is about 5 out of the 500 throws a quarterback needs to be able to make.
He will, but he's a good guy, okay?
He's a great guy.
And the story coming out
they have him on the roster. He's great in the locker room.
He's still a captain. He gets to walk out to midfield and then bring his ass off.
And I'm sure he can teach the other guys a lot about not having confidence. That was mean. I'm sorry.
Look. All right, Mitch is a good guy. All right.
No, he really.
I got his jersey
in all
hidden in the back of my closet. I was gonna give it to you, but you don't need it at this point. He's sitting on the bench.
Me a Pickett jersey.
There you go. I know this is rough for you though.
Jersey because
well,
I knock on wood. I'm probably saying this and shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you knock on the wood, but we heard it. I heard it.
I think it heard.
Okay, we got it.
But Harlan's gonna go off in a minute. That's my dog. If you don't, my mom's dog. If you don't know. Anyway, I can foresee Najee Harris because of his personality type. That's what gives me hope in this. Is I could see him sticking around like a Franco, like a Jerome Bettis, being the next generation of that to just stick with the franchise, fucking bust your ass, and set amazing records.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Tomlin and the rest of the front office needs to protect him. And
I
that starts
agree.
with the offensive line. And it's going to, by part, it's going to protect Pickett too.
Right.
But they got it because, oh man. I am so thankful that Najee Harris does amazing yoga because the hits I've seen him take already in this short career he's already had make me hurt. They make me hurt. I mean, come on.
Najee's a great running back, and he's a good dude. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And ultimately, go ahead.
It sucks, but I think being homeless in his life is what made it. I mean, obviously to some degree, but it's part of what gave him the character to be such a a fucking respectable person. I mean,
I'm not sure why that sucks. I mean, that helped build his character. Shout out Eric Thomas,
sucks he had to go through that.
Favorite motivational speaker. He also grew up homeless, and now he is the top motivational speaker in the world. So, shout out to growing up homeless. Let's not, encourage it, but if it happens,
there's diamonds in the rough.
Make the most of it.
Not
all right,
all of them turn
but
into
what
a
I was
record.
gonna say, what I was gonna say on Najee's case is the only thing that might stop him is we live in a time where very rarely do top running backs get those second deals, like those large second deals, like he deserves. We're actually about to
Steelers have a history of not paying those second deals,
right?
With the last legendary talent we had.
We're about to experience that with David Montgomery next year. He's going to be a free agent, and he's like the heart and soul of our offense.
No, he needs to stay.
And he's a dog, and I love him. I got his jersey. Shout out to him. But it's hard to say I'm going to give that running back 70, 80 million. I mean, Aaron Jones got it. Zeke got it. Derrick Henry.
Zeke got it, and we see how that turned out. Well, mind you, he has gotten better.
He has, but Tony Pollard's on his ass, so he knows that he's got to step it up.
He's had to get better. I like Zeke. I did like Zeke. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
But I feel like once he got that contract, he got that fat cat syndrome. He said, fuck it, I got paid, I'll run what I have to, but y'all don't count on me.
Again, like I said, getting Tony Pollard has lit a fire under his ass, because he's had a pretty good season so far.
This year he's looked better than in years past.
But to get back onto Najee's case, like you said, they got to protect him. But I think also, speaking of protect, that is probably the greatest protection for Pickett, is having a great running back there.
Yeah.
Where you can dump off to and he'll make something out of nothing.
It's hand in hand. If the Steelers front office gets their shit together in this offseason, I know I'm talking kind of way in the future at this point, but if they can get, or even, hey, hell, there's free agents out there, some of them might know how to fucking block. If you get those people in there, get the fucking cohesion right, protect Najee, you can run the ball when you want, and then Pickett can do what the fuck he wants to do.
Yeah.
He can do what comes naturally to him and hit those, beautifully tall and well athletic targets we have and make the best of this offense, because the defense is it's not going to last forever. TJ Watt's not going to be 30 forever. You know what I mean?
Understand it's going to be up and down. I mean, he's a rookie.
Fuck, is TJ Watt even 30 yet? I'm talking
about
He's
like 26.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he's 26. He's young.
Yeah.
And he's a stud. And please come back soon, because
we can't. That's my thing, is we can't waste him trying to figure out how to get our offense going and letting the offensive line go to shit. And that honestly was in
27. I was close.
Yeah.
Crazy thing, his birthday is October 11th. We were just talking about that yesterday. All right. But to get back to it, it's gonna be up and down, but ultimately, playing in a tough ass division like you guys are in, if there was ever a year to get out a rookie quarterback and let him get his lumps, I think this was the best year for it.
No, I'm glad he got the call.
And this is early, because I honestly thought Trubisky would get half a season. I didn't think he'd be this.
I thought he would.
I thought he'd put up more numbers.
I thought Tomlin, with being as hard nosed as he is, and kind of I'm gonna stick by my word type thing, I figured he would drag this out towards mid game. But I think honestly, a little bit of Tomlin's pride came out in this, as he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go 8-8 because of Trubisky.
Right.
I'll go 8-8 with a rookie QB, but I'm not going 8-8 with Trubisky.
8-9. Or 9-8, got that.
I'm still in fucking 2000.
Look, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, but I think. All right, well, I got the top for the next 5 for the Steelers up, so let's. Yeah, it's. Oh fuck, it's brutal. Oh god. It is. Take another drink. You might want. In fact, go ahead and hit this shit. Go ahead. You need it, bro. You need it. All right, here we go. Buffalo, at home against Tampa. We talked about that. On the road against Miami. On the road against Philly. And at home against New Orleans.
So what you're telling me is I'm not going to get to see the Steelers win a game for the next 6
November
weeks.
13th against the... Yeah, y'all better beat the Saints on November 13th. Because y'all got the Cincinnati... Oh, y'all beat Cincinnati
early.
Well,
after this, 6-week raping, we'll definitely have to take it out on the Saints.
Yeah. But again, you're seeing a bunch of top-notch defenses in that Buffalo. Tampa.
I had seen the schedule.
Miami's got one of the best secondaries, so he's got to be careful with them. Philly, same thing. They got a great secondary. They got a great defense. Shout out to Philly, man. Just the rebuild that they've had in the last 2 years.
No, Philly has done a lot.
To go from
the sister Pennsylvania team.
Well, yeah, again, that's you. Yeah, I forgot.
Shout out to the Steagles of 1950. Fuck, I don't remember the year. It was in the 50s, guys. Look it up.
I don't think any of them are still alive, but shout out to y'all anyway.
No.
But yeah, so it's gonna be some lumps. That's a rough schedule, but I'd rather go through that schedule with him than Trubisky right now, because
100%.
We're limited.
Like, Trubisky's a nice guy, but he cannot be my franchise quarterback.
So yeah, since we're still on the NFL subject, do you want to pick games real quick, or you want how you want?
Yeah, let's go ahead and pick games and get out of sports.
All right. I'm going to. Yeah.
Did I have any notes? Oh, pick it to Pickens. Pick it to Pickens. Pick it to Pickens. I think that if let those two kids work it out. Those are two rookies that really need to keep connecting because George Pickens is ridiculous.
I'm telling you, bro. I told you before with the draft, bro. I told you before the draft.
You sent me that video of him in training camp. I was like, okay.
But I was even on him before the draft. I wanted him at 39. And unfortunately,
I'm glad you didn't.
I'm
I'm
glad you ended up with somebody I like.
Honestly, when I saw that video of him in training camp, fucking ducking, diving to get the ball, that just stuck with me.
He's got it though. He's got that number one mentality.
He wants the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that is missing from a lot of even number one receivers in our league.
Sure.
Is okay, I'm
gonna do anything,
ball.
whatever
I want
it
it
takes.
More than the guy who's running step for step with me.
Right.
And that makes a difference.
It shows.
And
he made a great catch.
That's what I say. Pick
it
to Pickens.
Yeah.
That was one of my notes. Let me finish my notes here. Claypool is just a big body until proven otherwise.
He's got the talent though, man. Like,
he does have the talent.
He has no brain though.
I mean,
he has he does dumb shit. And
I'll give him the slack if he's young.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of people in the NFL are young.
And they're not all doing dumb shit to get
Peyton Manning was young at a point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
I mean, if you want to make that argument, he also did throw a shitload of picks his first year. But he did turn out fine if we're being honest. But no, I like Claypool.
Has got to prove. I feel like he's got a lot to prove.
Sure.
With that big body, why aren't you putting up fucking Mike Evans numbers at this point?
Well, who was his quarterback? So.
Mike Evans did it with fucking.
Jameis has always had a big arm, though. I mean, come on now.
He would actually try to give you the ball.
Look, but that's my point, though. Claypool.
He hadn't had the quarterback for it.
But he's
had the opportunities. I've seen.
And he's gonna get one-on-one. He's gonna get man-to-man coverage though, because
not necessarily drop, but not make the catch that is like, oh, you made that catch, man. You looking good. Like
make the catch that Pickens would make.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Show that you want the ball more than the guy next to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the takeaway from my game. For the Steelers this week, I am so thankful to have Boswell. Shout out to that 59-yarder before the half. That's fucking legendary. That is the 59-yarder is the longest kick in the new. It's Heinz Field, goddammit. In our new stadium. It's
okay, I just
What is that fucking company?
Heinz Field, bro. We're not doing it. Not on this podcast. We're not accepting that.
I'll make fun of them.
So we're gonna.
You want to sponsoring me?
Well, yeah. We don't have those yet. I guess we'll start with. We'll just go right down the line with it. I guess. Giants, Packers. If you want to just name a team or pick a score, that's fine. My game, of course, I'm gonna go a little more in depth. Not much, but whatever. Giants, Packers, and Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium.
I'm taking Packers on that one.
Look,
but I think the Giants will give them a good game, and because the Packers don't want to blow anybody out, even when they have
they're still learning though. Those receivers besides Lazard and Cobb are young. They're rookies, so it takes time. But go ahead.
And yeah,
you got a score, or you just let me say one thing. Saquon is back, and I am so happy he's healthy. Even though he ran all over us last week, I am so happy he's healthy. So, go ahead.
24-17.
I'll go 27-10. There's no way that the Packers let Daniel Jones run wild like we did last week. He's not. Look, Daniel Jones is sneaky athletic, and I know people hate when you say that, but he shouldn't be running for 21-yard touchdowns untouched. That's fucking unacceptable. And I don't think he'll get. That Packers defense is good. So yeah, I'll say 27-10 Packers.
No, 21-yard touchdowns untouched ain't gonna happen a lot for poor old Jones there.
Not gonna happen. All right, next game is one you already predicted. Steelers, Bills.
Oh, Bills 42. Steelers 10.
Oh God.
I see us getting a touchdown.
Look,
I see it.
Josh Allen
in my mind's eye
is on another level. Okay, I will say that.
I wish we had him.
35-17 Bills. I mean, I
appreciate
think
you giving us
yeah,
so
I
many
think Pick
points.
it's gonna be some good, and there's gonna be some bad. Again,
Well,
that's
the
a
one
good
touchdown I'm
defense.
picturing is him doing a little quarterback sneak. The one.
Hey, look, he got a touchdown. That's
the rest is gonna be field goal, and a missed one at that. I
That's
picture
what
that
counts,
one
man.
too.
So doink
That'll
off
be
the front and land on
That'll
it.
be right before half when it's actually close.
Yeah. All right. So we're both going with the Bills. All right.
Yeah.
Chargers, Browns in Cleveland.
Chargers.
You know what the Chargers? See the Chargers.
I said it too confidently. Don't get it misconstrued. It's gonna be a close game, but I do believe in the Chargers.
I do too. Don't get me wrong. I think on both sides of the ball they are so talented, but they're struggling with injuries already. Guys being out for the year.
And this will be that type of game.
See, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. 24-21. I think it'll be go down to the end, and then either in overtime or at the end of the game. I can't talk right now. The Chargers will kick a field goal.
Browns Chargers. See, I'm kind of feeling a high scoring game with that one, so I'm gonna go 41-30.
Everybody's scoring 40 this week, except for this next game.
Yeah.
Bears Vikings.
Oof.
All right.
Yeah, this is gonna be my
Here we go. So, as a Bears fan, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. As a Bears fan, I'm a realist this week only. The Vikings have so many weapons. Now, granted, they've been up and down. They're 3-1, but they've been up and down so far this year. But Jalen Johnson, our number one corner, is not expected to play this week, and Justin Jefferson is going to do unspeakable things to our secondary. So I'm gonna go with, but hopefully David Montgomery will be back this week. He actually practiced yesterday. I haven't checked the injury report today, so I'm not sure if he practiced. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings, 35-24. Hopefully this will be, Justin Fields played better this past week. He still has only completed 50% of his passes, which it's not acceptable. We get it, but he's improving. And that's what this year is for the Bears. Any Bears fan that happens to find this channel, thank you. Please subscribe. I appreciate it. But you have to understand, we have $100 million to spend next year. A lot of, I want to say 40 to 45 million in dead cap. We are not supposed to be competitive this year. So you're just looking for improvement from guys that who are still under contract, and hopefully guys that we can bring back that we signed on a 1-year deal. So again, we just want to see improvement. Hopefully Fields will play better this week. We are in Minneapolis. It's a tough environment in the Dome. They get the Skull chant going, and, they do what they do. So, yeah, picking the Vikings.
I have a bold prediction for this one.
Oh, shit.
Bold prediction. I actually can see the Bears pulling this out.
We've been drinking for like about 2.5 hours, so I just want to preface that. Go ahead.
That is a good disclosure.
Go
I
ahead,
appreciate
bro. I got you.
I really do appreciate that.
I got you.
Maybe that's the only reason I'm having this conclusion.
Let's do
I
it.
don't know. But I feel like the Bears, this is y'all's game to, I know, like, I'm making it too grandiose, but like show the world, more importantly, show the Vikings, like, hey, we're figuring our shit out, but we're not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is that game because the Vikings, they're not a consistent team. They have the talent, they have the roster, but they're not a consistent team.
As much talent
They haven't been in my lifetime. 31 years on this earth, the Vikings have never been consistent.
Yeah, well, yeah, even then. But
even Randy Moss, they weren't consistent.
Okay, there was a 1 year they went 14-2. What was it? No, that was the Falcons. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to give the Vikings credit. I tried.
He tried.
But continue.
I've tried. Chris Carter and Randy Moss tried in the 90s. Dante Culpepper tried. Fucking, what's that coach's name that we are who they thought we were?
Dennis Green, rest in peace.
Yes. He tried. I mean,
Leslie
everybody
Frazier,
tried for the Vikings.
Shout out to 85 Bears.
I'm pretty sure Madden even tried from the broadcasting
Brad
booth.
Childress? Yeah, Brad Childress. Who was there? Mike Zimmer. They just fired him last year.
Yep, he tried.
Now,
God, he did try. I mean,
I do like Kevin O'Connor, the coach from the Rams tree. He came from being McVay's coordinator. I like him. All right, go ahead. Finish your prediction.
But I picture the Bears in a drop-down knockout slogger, as they call it, just barroom brawl.
Give me a score.
14-10.
Woo! We can score 14. We can do that. I don't know how many field goals that is, but we can do it. Okay. We're gonna get a safety
which
in
stadium
that.
did you say it was in? The Viking Stadium.
Yeah.
So there's no weather to worry about. I'm picturing a low-scoring game. I feel like there's gonna be probably a bunch of shitty calls. Because it's the Bears and Vikings.
Yeah,
and
Bears and game.
refs don't like either one of y'all's teams, it seems like.
Especially when we're playing the Packers.
Because it feels like when there's bogus calls, they've always gone, against either against the Vikings or Bears, and with y'all playing each other, the refs aren't going to know who to go against.
We're just going to throw offsetting penalties all game.
I'm predicting this being a 3-team game. Refs against the Bears against the Vikings, and, whoever the refs decide, it's going to be, I hope, the Bears, 14-10.
We'll take it. Thank you for believing in my team more than me.
It's my bold prediction for the week.
Here we go. Here we go. Lions at Patriots. Both are 1-3. I don't think
the Lions are hot.
They're putting up 35 a game.
The Lions are hot,
but they're 1-3.
They have no defense.
Yeah, I mean
they're hot.
So
they have no defense.
But
it's kind of a problem.
Here's the thing, though.
Almost like to have. Almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's not push it. Here's the thing. The Patriots. I don't think the Patriots are a good team.
No.
But I don't think that the Lions are gonna put up 35 on them. Like.
No. This game won't go over 30 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I mean, combined.
You wanna go first?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take the Patriots 17-14, but I won't be surprised if the Lions win. I just feel like. And again, Billy Zappe's making his first start. Maybe he started last week. We'll have to check that.
He did start last week.
He did. Okay. Yeah. Billy Zappe's starting this week. And I couldn't remember if it was Hoyer or him.
I think Hoyer shit his pants.
So
I don't know.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do. Again, I'm not taking nothing away from the Lions because again they can score, but that's a tough environment to have to win in. I'm gonna go with the Patriots 17-14.
I gotta lead this off by saying, shout out Jared Goff. Congratulations, young man. You have surprised the fuck out of me.
Man, who are you telling?
And even being 1-3, these games have been the best football I've seen you play in the past 2 years.
He's putting up better numbers than he was with LA.
Yeah.
I saw a stat on that the other day.
I can believe it.
But
I haven't seen it myself,
it's
but I can definitely believe
though,
it.
because you think about.
No, that's why I'm saying that I have to give him a little bit of credit. I thought he was done.
Yeah.
We could just chalk him up as a
number one,
not necessarily a bust, but a guy who had a couple good years, and now he'll probably work his way out of the NFL or be a backup.
Yeah.
And then here he is making the Lions look better than Stafford really did.
You're gonna have to definitely think about whether you sign him next year. I mean, you're still gonna be in a place for a good draft pick, no matter how good you think the Lions are this year. I mean, I'm glad they're improving. I don't hate the Lions like I hate the Packers. I don't hate the Vikings like I hate the Packers either. But I'm glad they're improving. It's just now they have to decide, do they think he can be, their franchise quarterback? And if he continues to play like he's playing this year, he might actually get that.
Young enough. He hasn't had quite, any severe, well, obviously he's had injuries,
yeah.
But not like, oh, that's going to shorten his career type injuries.
Right.
He has plenty of years left. It's not like he's old. Why not? I mean, what better option do the Lions have at this point? And that kind of brings me to, I can see the Lions eking this out.
Oh, yeah?
I could see him.
Are you going to pick him is the question.
It's tough for me to pick against Belichick with the fucking Lions.
At home.
Yeah.
And you also got to remember, this is a Matt Patricia revenge game. Which means absolutely nothing because Matt Patricia's
he's not a good coach.
Shitty human being.
I'm surprised he's had a job this long.
Well, shout out again. It's all about who you know. And Bill
nepotism.
Belichick.
Even though he's not necessarily related to Belichick, but there's still nepotism in the NFL.
We'll go with it. It is.
It's not
it definitely
blood nepotism. It's just proxy nepotism. You coached under him. We love you.
So you're picking
Patriots.
All right. Here we go.
21-14.
We'll take it. All right.
I don't know why I'm doing such even numbers. I don't believe in field goals.
Here we go. I'll get off the script right here. Saints, Seahawks in the Superdome. Geno Smith is fucking killing it right now, and I'm happy for him because before this year he hadn't started since 2012 or start. I think it's yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize it'd been that
Yeah,
long.
bro, it's been a while. So for him to come back, sit on the bench all those years behind good quarterbacks and everything, and to come back and produce, I'm happy for him, and I hope he continues that season. That being said, I hope they're gonna. I think they're gonna lose. Excuse me. I mean, the Superdome is a tough place to play. The Saints' defense, despite what their offense does, the Saints' defense is very good. I watched them play the Vikings last week in Tottenham, and even though that game it got good down the stretch and they gave us some points down the stretch, they were shutting them down and they were hurting themselves and kept turning the ball over. That's why it was as close as it was. So I'm going with the Saints. 15-9. Here we go. Let's switch it up.
Okay. With being the Saints, and I have hope for them, I guess it's more just personal bias. I'd rather see the Saints win. So I'll go Saints. Gonna do an odd score for this game. 20, well, not odd, really, technically, or mathematically, whatever the fucking word. 2010, Saints.
All right. We're gonna speed this up a little bit because we're taking a while. Dolphins, Jets. I'm going with the Dolphins. That offense is dynamic. I don't know if Tua is gonna play. I was just reading. I don't think he actually.
Regardless if he plays, Dolphins are gonna.
If he
the
plays,
Jets.
they'll put up 35. Because they beat y'all last week. If he plays, they'll put up 35.
That's the reason I say I hope. Because I mean, any other day I'd say the Jets, don't stand a chance. And the Dolphins will walk right through them.
28-21, Dolphins. If he plays 35 or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with that. If he plays, they'll put up 35 points.
Yeah.
Especially because he'll be hot. He'll be wanting to hey, look, I'm fine. I just got my bell rung.
Game is in Jersey, though. I forgot to mention that. It is. It is in Jersey.
All right, Jersey. Fuck you, Jersey.
Whoa, hey.
I'm just kidding. If you're from Jersey, I'm sorry that you had to be born there.
All right. So we're going with the Dolphins on that one. Cool.
Yeah, we're unanimous, Dolphins.
Right, cool.
I don't care about the score. It'll be ugly. If Tua plays,
you see what happens when you beat the Steelers?
Yeah.
You see the treatment you get?
I hope you fuckers Jets don't get a goddamn field goal all game.
All right.
For the rest of the year. Every fucking ball hits the upright.
All right. Falcons, Bucks. I think we can both say Bucks on that one.
Yeah.
Bucks.
So.
Yeah.
Here I go with this hope so shit again.
Yeah. All right. Titans, Commanders. In DC.
We gotta talk about that name.
Bro, I like the football team better. Like, if we're gonna be honest.
Washington football team. That was so much better than Commanders.
Yeah, bro. Like, y'all had a whole year.
They had two.
But didn't they vote on that shit or ask the fans?
They played a season with the Washington football team.
Right.
So that was time to think and come up with some ideas or write some shit down.
Didn't they run it back though with the football team? Didn't they?
Yes,
right.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I don't know. Who cares?
But Commanders.
It's the skins, bro. They don't matter.
Right. And the thing that kills me about it too is through the history of the NFL, a lot of the team names we have to this day were done through the newspaper, through fan naming competitions, named after the Chiefs, named after because the owner
who uses a newspaper? Who uses a newspaper anymore?
We have this new thing called Instagram or Twitter, where all
what about
the fans are, and you can. Who gives a fuck?
The TikTokers and.
We could have done it on TikTok.
Yeah.
We could have advertised on TikTok to bring them to Twitter. But why did we settle on Commanders?
Yeah.
It's not my team. I don't give a shit at the end of the day. But Commanders, that's the stock name you pick in Madden. That's not a name
they
you
look
pick
like a created
franchise.
team, bro.
Well, yeah, they don't even have an emblem. I mean, you came up with Commanders and you couldn't even come up with an emblem?
So with all that being said, I'm picking the Titans.
I hope so. Beat the shit out of the generic team.
I just feel like they're going to run all over the Commanders. And, yeah. So Derrick Henry,
I've gotten myself worked up. Now I'm angry at the Commanders for picking that horrible name. I don't even care who plays them. Just beat the shit out of the Commanders.
Okay, we're picking the Titans now. Okay.
Yes, Titans.
All right. Texans, Jags. I'm going with the Jags. Texans are improving, but the Jags actually look pretty good this year, and I hope it continues. So, Jags are going to put up 35, I feel like, on the Texans. Jags, Texans?
That's actually a tougher one for me. I have hope for the Jags.
Jags are at home, too. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jags then.
Yeah,
I'll take Jags.
All right. We got a couple more.
I said take Jags like I'm picking them in Madden.
hey, get into it after this shit. All right, 49ers, Panthers. The Niners have the best defense in the league. They're giving up 10 points a game right now. I can't pick against that with facing Baker. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Niners.
I know I'm just a Steelers fan saying this, but I am not a Baker believer.
I've never been. I mean, in high school. At Oklahoma,
sure
he put up great numbers. Oh, he was great, yeah. And he put up great numbers at Oklahoma. But ever since he got to the league, I haven't been high on him. But I mean, you can't take nothing away from him. He's had an okay career.
Yeah, no, I mean, compared to Trubisky, it would be a slight step.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would rather see Pickett.
That's like a 2-step ladder kind of thing.
Yeah,
Pit-pat type of.
Yeah, you're not going way up there.
Yeah,
so slight step up.
No.
Baby
okay.
steps.
So
baby
we're
steps.
Niners, yeah.
Oh yeah, Niners.
Yeah, okay. They're gonna get after
Fuck
him.
the score.
They're gonna get after him. All right, we got 3 left. 4. Cowboys, Rams.
I might actually watch that game.
Well, I mean, Cooper Rush has been playing pretty good for them. Anybody I run into Cowboys fans, unfortunately, there's a lot of them in this fucking area.
Oh God,
they are awful. Like, it's a mix though. It's Cooper Rush is that guy we should bench Dak. What?
What's wrong with you?
I mean, seriously, bro, come on now.
I mean,
but the thing about it is, accept that he's playing well because he has talent around him. When somebody comes out here and overpays for him this offseason, he's not gonna look as good. So just realize that's what it is.
Yeah, you put him, plop him on any other team, and you will not see this performance.
You don't take nothing away because you're having a good year.
Good,
that's good.
But he's played good in a system he knows, and he's had 2 years to get familiarized.
2, yeah, with great weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Rams. I think they'll bounce back this week.
If they don't,
and they're at home, so yeah, I think they'll bounce back this week.
I too pick the Rams, but I say it with this: if the Rams lose this game to the Cowboys make the playoffs and the Rams don't. Bold prediction.
I mean,
snuck it in.
I thought you already had one bold prediction, and
I'm
here I am.
This week.
Here I am. I still haven't made a bold prediction.
But I say that because I feel like it'll be kind of one of those demoralizing games, and it would be a subtone throughout the year. Like,
is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. I still think the Rams are going to bounce back at some point.
No,
they haven't.
Rams win this game. I mean, Cowboys still might make the playoffs because of that fucking division.
But you know what? Honestly, well, that gets to our next game. Yeah, Eagles, Cardinals. Bold prediction. I think the Cardinals win. Sorry, I was away from the mic. Bold prediction. I think the Cardinals win. They are at home, and I think Kyler comes out and shows why they paid him all that money. Do I think they're the better team? Of course not. But, any given Sunday.
Cardinals, Eagles. I'm going with, not the dirty birds, but the dirtier birds in that scenario. The Eagles.
Keep them undefeated. It'll be 5-0 if they win.
I could see them doing it because the Cardinals like to shoot themselves in the foot.
They do.
They're the Commanders from a few years ago.
Well, the Commanders with more weapons because they have a good offense. Yeah. It's just, clicking, and they don't always click.
I feel like they're the type that they'll lose this game when they should have won it.
That's yeah. I could see it happening, but I needed a bold prediction, so we're going with the Cardinals.
There you go.
All right, Sunday night game. This one was probably gonna make you throw up. It's the Bengals and the Ravens. You wanna go?
What are their records right
They're
now?
both 2-2. The game is in Baltimore. And look, I'll say this: the Ravens are 2-2, but they could easily be 3-1. They were dominating the Dolphins. They were up by 20,
I don't know
21
how they
in the
lost
fourth.
that game, dude.
Well, Tua went crazy. He had a good game all the way around, but in the second half he just.
But I
would
would have thought that I didn't see the whole game obviously, but I would have thought that the Ravens could have kept that momentum.
The way they were,
the Dolphins defense.
The way they were just marching up and down the field, you would think. But yeah, the Dolphins defense stepped up. Lamar had a turnover later on in the game, and gave them the opportunity, and that's all you need sometimes. So they're not 3-1 though. Like I said, they could easily be, but they're not. So I'm picking the Ravens. It's funny because right now the Bengals have, I think, one of the worst offenses in football. Which again, you have all those weapons, so it's only a matter of time before they click. But I don't think they'll start clicking this week. So Ravens 16-13. Just because, again, it's a division game. They know each other, play each other twice a year. Yeah. I think it'll be a close game, low-scoring game.
There's gonna be a lot of Steelers fans out there like, he picked the Ravens. But I mean, look at the 2 piles of shit I'm picking from. It's like a presidential election here for me, folks. I mean, either way, I'm fucked.
There you go.
The Bengals.
Unless it's a tie.
Yeah, I would love for a tie. Fuck both of y'all.
Yeah.
Honestly though, Joe Burrow, if we could have drafted him or if we could have traded for him or something, I'd have definitely taken the kid.
He's the number 1 pick in the draft. Everybody, he had the best college season of all time. They won a national championship. Everybody would have taken Joe Burrow. I mean,
but he's done a lot with getting beat the fuck up. And it's not to really say their offensive line is horrible, but he has definitely taken a lot more sacks.
It was last year,
yeah.
And they went out and spent money this year, and it still hasn't been good.
No, it's been kind of a slow progression in them trying to figure that out. But I gotta go Ravens.
Almost,
unfortunately.
You tried. Yeah,
I like Joe Burrow, and I wish he was on my team. As
Great
I'm sure
player.
a lot of 31 other teams do probably.
Yeah.
To some degree. But yeah, Ravens over Bengals.
All right, Monday night game.
Dun, 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 dun,
There we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Please don't sue us, ESPN. We have no money. Okay,
I'm doing my voice. So
our
it's not,
budget is like really small. Please don't sue us. All right.
I think I just smoked our budget. What do you mean? No.
Raiders Chiefs at Arrowhead. It is a tough place to win at Arrowhead, but you know who did it last year? The Raiders. That's why I'm picking the Chiefs to destroy them. There we go. That was easy.
Holy shit. It's going to be that kind of week, folks. I need sound effects. 3 bold predictions this week. Holy shit. I really do see something in the Raiders, but only because it's the Chiefs and because the Chiefs have been playing well. It seems like the Chiefs do this shit once a year. They go into a game that you think they should win. It's a division game. They should win it. And then Mahomes can't get out of his own way. He throws 2 picks in the first half. Gets sacked 4 times in the second half. Before you know it, it's a loss to the Raiders. And that's where I think it's going to go. I think this might be that wild game, especially on Monday night. Going to be nighttime. Got the lights on. Prime time. Fucking Derek Carr finally shows up.
If none of your bold predictions hit, you're not allowed to make one next
Right?
week. All right, it's
bold
on record.
Predictions be done after fucking
Cancel.
show 1.
Yeah, I'm going with a no. You're not. No bold predictions for you. You're chalk. You are fucking chalk the whole way. Shit. Here we go. So that is our NFL preview.
That's the picks for the week, and the any other sports news? Random sports news?
Draymond Green.
Green.
We can touch it.
Yeah, stealing off on motherfuckers on practice. What?
Okay. So for those who don't really watch basketball, Draymond Green and Jordan Poole both play for the Golden State Warriors. They just won a NBA championship. Draymond Green's 4th. Jordan Poole's 1st with the team. But Jordan Poole, the second half of the year and really in the playoffs, he established himself as Klay Thompson light, where he just was automatic from deep 3, just pull up. It was looking like really like Steph Curry light, if I'm really being honest. But so he had a great year. And now next year he's going to be eligible to get paid, and he's going to get over $100 million easily. And that's cool. But when you're paying Steph, when you're paying Klay, and you still have to build out a roster around that, money gets tight at some point. And that's where Draymond comes into the fold. Draymond is in the last year of his deal. Now, Draymond Green is one of those players that it doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, but he impacts the game in such a big way.
The tone.
Yes, definitely. So he's a key part of that 3-peat or 4. This is the 4th one they've won, not in a row, but still 4 in 8 years, whatever the fuck it is. Impressive. It's you can't take nothing away from it. Now, some of this animosity was building last year between Jordan Poole and Draymond, but it never really bubbled over. So apparently today, TMZ released a video of Draymond and Jordan Poole going barking, and that's what happens when you're competitive athletes at the highest level of your sport. But Draymond took it a step too far and swung on him and connected, and he got him pretty good. So they had already said a couple days ago they weren't gonna discipline him though. So I wonder what their stance is going to be now that the video comes out.
Yeah, now the video's out there and they can't dispute it or, just kind of brush it under.
Definitely.
This kind of makes me think of Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson because it's kind of a case of the better statistical performer got knocked out.
Well, I mean, but also they didn't play on the same team. But
No,
I mean, if we're trying to keep it on that same, analogy,
we'll put up more points.
We'll go
than,
with it.
Draymond, but Draymond definitely sets the fucking tone for defense. I mean, he gets in the ear and gets in the mind of the players for defense, and that you can't put a price on that even.
You can't, but you have to. And ultimately,
well, yeah,
they're gonna have to let Draymond go. They're gonna sign Jordan Poole back because in today's NBA, it's mostly about scoring points. And to have somebody that can run and gun with Clay and Steph, you're gonna sign that back. And I know Draymond Green expects to get paid, 130, 140, 150, whatever he's expecting.
But he's not worth it.
Well, he's not gonna get it, I think, ultimately.
He's not worth it.
And he's not gonna have that impact on whatever team he goes to. The only team that, and they wanted him last year, that he would have that type of impact on is the Memphis Grizzlies. And that's because they're young, they're hungry. I mean, they finished in the 2 spot last year. Ja Morant, he's all NBA player already. He's a great player. He's a great, great guard. Desmond Bane, they are loaded. But they need a veteran, a veteran who could come in and play good defense and
be afraid to feed the ball.
Who just has that awareness of the moment. And Draymond is that. But he's not gonna be able to go to he can't fit in any team and have that same impact that he has for the Warriors. So it was just wild to see that, that he reacted in that way. But you got to understand, this had been building for a while, and so it kind of finally bubbled over this week, and it'll be interesting to follow and see, the ramifications of his actions.
Wouldn't it be some shit if nothing happens after this?
I mean, nothing probably will happen. Because,
but I mean, I feel like with the video being out, there has to be like some kind of minor suspension. Or
they're gonna go after whoever leaked it. I mean,
well, yeah,
this is what the time we live in. They're not gonna go after the
that video. Better be out of the country,
right?
Or they're gonna be paying every bit of that money back and then some.
Instead of going after the people who actually were involved in it.
Yeah, but, instead of the guy who threw the punch.
Right. Any other topics you want to touch on this first episode?
Nah, I think we better wrap it up so you can get out of here. Well, thank you folks for coming and joining us. I know this is a little bit random and off kilter, but I think we stayed pretty good on subject here. In later shows, we will be tackling harder subjects and not necessarily deeper dives, but we might do some comic books, some movies, some just pop culture in general. So stay tuned. We're gonna do all kinds of shit. Anything you want to shout out? Any upcoming projects?
No, just make sure you come back for the next episode.
Alrighty. From middle of nowhere, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.